to facilitate exam malpractice. Our attention now turns, Honorable Meli, Hesbon Otieno and Dr. Purity, to also a concern raised by teachers from the northern frontier counties of Mandera, Garissa and Wajir. And in the following report, they highlight their grievances. This in regards to insecurity, especially in the county of Mandera. Following the interdiction of teachers by the Teacher Service Commission and letters seen by Citizen TV, the teachers have been accused of deserting duty by the Teacher Service Commission, and some of them now say they can't risk their lives and will no longer go back to Mandera until, or Wajir or Garissa, until their security is assured. Here's that report on the plight that they have raised about a fortnight ago. Geoffrey Kipmgeno Lelon is a teacher from Kericho County, based in Mandera County. Along with many others, they were not able to return to their workstations due to what he and others describe as insecurity. He has been interdicted by the Teachers Service Commission.
Unless you have enough money, which most of the teachers don't, to take you and to go by air. Let me mention like Lave, where teachers have to pay 1,000 shillings monthly to the KPR for extra security, because they have been, that area is having the highest insecurity. Areas also of Lave, Arabia, where it's very risky.
In letters sent to the affected teachers and seen by Citizen TV, the Nancy Macharia-led commission cited a violation of the Teacher Service Commission Act, stating, "I am directed by the Teacher Service Commission to say that it is alleged that you have breached Clause B4 of the 3rd schedule of the Act, in that you deserted duty with effect from the 9th of September to date while teaching at Ramu Day Secondary School." Another one read, "I am directed by the Teacher Service Commission to say that it's alleged that you have breached Clause B4 of the 3rd schedule of the Act, in that you deserted duty with effect from the 9th of September 2023 to date while teaching at Fincharo Primary School. Consequently, you are hereby interdicted with effect from the 22nd of September 2023, this applying to all teachers who were served by the Teacher Service Commission."
Like the teacher who was killed, he wasn't killed in his house. He was killed while in police station trying to seek more security from the police officers, of which at times the police officers are overpowered. Therefore, an instance where more than 200 armed Al-Shabaab versus might be less than 10 police and officers who remain when others have been assigned to various duties.
Some of the affected teachers who we talked to decried the move by TSC and asked that we conceal their identity over fear of reprisals by the employing authority.
I personally was called at the Teacher Service Commission and was informed to make only a list of those who had not gone back so that they can be transferred. That is like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago. Then after I had made the list, to my surprise, the transfers changed to be interdictions. That is why we are really agitated and are confused on what action to take.
For weeks, the teachers have been camping at the TSC headquarters seeking to be transferred from the region, citing insecurity threat that is posed by Al-Shabaab and hostility from the local community. The teachers say TSC has not bothered to address their issues as they have raised.
Teachers Service Commission have failed to also listen to us and do as per our request. That is what is causing desertion. I should be in school now teaching because today is a working day. But nobody can work where your life is compromised.
In the letters to the affected teachers, TSC outlined a 7-point appeal process before determination of the cases. It directed the interdicted teachers on the following steps: an invitation to make defense statements in 21 days, an opportunity to be heard by the Commission in person, and asked them to indicate the nearest TSC sub-county office to report to once a month. It also asked the teachers to present any other evidence to support cases, vacate office, provide contact addresses, emails and telephone numbers, and to forfeit their annual leave. The interdicted tutors now say they will protest outside TSC offices on Monday. Ayub Abdikadir, Citizen TV. Well, that report was on the same day that the teachers had received the letters of interdiction from the Teacher Service Commission. Hesbon, I come to you. They raised fundamental point in regards to insecurity, and that has not been addressed for a while now. It isn't the first time this is coming up. I mean, how long will it take for the government to guarantee the safety of teachers in northeastern Kenya?
First of all, let me say that I'm happy that teachers all over Kenya would wish to go and teach in northeastern if there was security. And that can be, the indicator is very clear, that you can see that the teachers themselves have always been volunteering to go and teach there. And you've rightly said that it is not the first case of this magnitude. It then means that there is a lapse in terms of providing security for the teachers who want to teach in that region. Mm-hmm. And it is so sad that the students and the children of that region are not getting equal opportunity like the rest of the children in the Republic of Kenya in terms of access to education, quality education. So the government should now think out of the box and see if then teachers are posted in the northern frontier of the country where there is insecurity. What are these measures that the government can do out of the box, not the normal security? Because the teacher has rightly commented and said, you cannot send 10 security personnel to go and offer security where we have about 200 armed Al-Shabaab people. It is not even practical even for the police. It is not even safe for the police. Yeah. So if the police is not safe, then the teachers are also not safe. It is also inhuman for the Teacher Service Commission not to see that these teachers who were posted there, and it is because of insecurity, risk of life is what has made them come out of that place. These teachers have a responsibility and enjoy their rights to life according to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Okay. So the Teacher Service Commission coming to punish the same teachers who are protecting their own lives because the government has not offered that protection by giving enough security. It is very wrong for these teachers to again be victimized by the same person who is supposed to protect them. So the government should think out of the box. More so even now as we are doing the national examinations. How are we sure that we have enough supervisors, enough invigilators in that area to ensure that those students and pupils in that area are being offered quality in terms of exams? Okay. Even the personal security of the students who are there and they're doing exams, how is it guaranteed? So I think the government now should come out and be very clear in a way in which security can be offered to those teachers, to those students, and even every other person who is in those areas which are security prone, where there is danger. Okay.
Honorable Mele, I mean, and when they protested, that was on a Thursday, the following Monday on the 16th, they protested outside the TSC offices in Nairobi. They ended up being arrested and they were put in police cells. They're raising fundamental question on security. I mean, to the extent that they are paying between 1,000 to 1,500 for reservists to support the police in a given police station which can be outrun by Al-Shabaab militants. I mean, where does responsibility lie? Because they now want to cry to Parliament to find a solution to the problems that they are facing. They are at home, they are jobless, they can't teach, and it's a profession they love, but they can't put their lives on the line because of insecurity.
Yes, thank you, Ayub. And I just want to empathize and sympathize with the teachers. And as a Committee of Education, I want to say that we've got taste of this matter for a long period of time while I've been in Parliament. I'm privileged to have served 2 terms. This is my 3rd term. In 2016, we had a sporadic attack by Al-Shabaab across the northeastern, and a number of teachers were killed, others were maimed, and many families actually were traumatized. The recent attacks, when we got it, we decided that we invite the CS Interior, Honorable Kindiki. Kindiki appeared before our committee. We put him to task, what is he doing to secure the whole region? Not the teachers alone, the whole of Northeastern, because that is part of the Republic. He actually gave us a number of measures he's doing. And when we zero in down to teachers, he actually was almost also not having the answers. Yeah. We asked them, what are you doing to ensure that teachers in certain areas, and let me tell you, not the whole region has insecurity issues. Certain specific areas along the borderlines, some areas in Wajir, not the whole of Garissa, because as we speak, we have over 3,000 teachers from this part of the country in Northeastern. The teachers complaining are 129. That's why when we wanted to get a specific answer from the CS, he wasn't able to give us. And in fact, the issues that he raised, the issue of the Al-Shabaab attacking our Novaraning police station, at times bring down the communication masts, attacking and schools and all this. The teachers said the only solution is for them to leave those particular stations. Okay. We decided to invite the Teacher Service Commission, CEO. We also took her through the problems the teachers are going through, because we had actually gotten enough information. Finally, when we were in Mombasa, we did agree and made a resolution with the Teacher Service Commission that the affected teachers were actually 129 of the 3,000. And I want to tell you that every case should be treated individually. That's why the recent interdiction by the Teacher Service Commission, we condemn it. Personally, as a chair and as a committee, because these are individual cases where, for example, Ayub, you are teaching in Lafay, like the young man who is there. Your school is attacked, you have an insecurity issue. Meli is teaching in some corner in Mandera, he has no insecurity issue, I continue teaching. Then you come and say, of the 3,000 teachers, you 129, you are cheating. Yet my school is not your school. Your division is not my division. Two, the Education Committee has been very, very fair to the 3 regions. And Lamu, where a recruitment of teachers we made a resolution in 2018, when I was the chair of education, and said this region shall continue to recruit teachers continuously. Right now we have about 700 vacancies for teachers to be recruited there. Teacher Service Commission made a terrible mistake. Instead of giving priority to the locals, which we had recommended, they came down again to look for teachers in these other parts of the country, denying those particular teachers. And I want to say that the Member of Parliament for Garissa, actually, the other day, Major Dako, we sat down and he told me he has about 25 teachers. And I told him, we need to recruit those ones to take positions in those particular regions because they understand the terrain, they understand the language, they understand the way things are being done. And in fact, when the commission went ahead to interdict, we really made a resolution as a committee that this was wrong, it was evil, it was immoral, that somebody who is running away for his dear life, you are telling him, go back for money. Ayub, I think that one needs to be castigated and condemned because the commission has actually did quite something wrong.
Because the teachers, because the teachers who spoke to say that their next stop is Parliament because they wanted intervention from the House.
We did intervene, and actually we had them, and it was very harrowing experiences where the teachers themselves talk of. Let me say this, Ayub. When you are a teacher, it is not robotic. You need to sit down, plan, you need to guide and counsel the child. You need to have your whole mind in that particular school. Now this is where you are actually under threat. Are you going to plan anything?
Certainly.
Are you going to do anything in that particular issue? That's why when we are talking about, we are telling the commission that the issues that the teachers are facing, the 129 teachers, should not be looked at globally. It should be treated individually, case by case, and those teachers be allowed to transfer. They are not actually transferring the whole teachers from the region. Those particular teachers.
Thank you. And Hezbon, I'll come to you because, as rightly put by Honorable Mele, the avoiding of the blanket outcry. Because there are some specific teachers who have
and specific regions that have particular
specific areas of the teachers we talked to be fair to everyone here, including, of course, the government. Yes, Dr. Purity, I mean, the welfare of the teachers is critical in the advancing of our education system. And here comes the outcry by some who have raised insecurity as a major problem in teaching schools in some parts of northeastern Kenya. What do you think, and how can this be best addressed without the blanket condemnation or the blanket accusation on those who have cried out for their lives?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Please proceed.
Yes. Of course, in terms of the teachers, and I'm happy that I'm a teacher. Security as before you go to teach, you also want to feel secure, and of course, it is sad that some of the teachers have been sent home. I hope the commission will reconsider. But one of the things, Ayub, that we also need to talk about is how now there is a lot of interference by politicians when it comes to hiring of teachers and even transfer of teachers. Just recently, we had one of the MPs from the Tharaka Nithi County telling the people, the teachers who are not from that sub-county in that area, that they need to transfer, they need to go. And when I look back and I'm like, if the parents now start demonstrating and saying you don't belong to this community, you go to where you belong, we might have a lot of issues as a country. So I think this need for the commission to remain independent without any interference from the politicians. If, for example, when I was employed by TSC in 2015, I went to Rongai in Nakuru County, and I don't come from that place. If I'm still teaching, probably I would be comfortable being in that community. And it doesn't take anything away from me. It doesn't make me a lesser human being for not working in my county. And it is actually helping the children from that area to have a different perspective, to have someone who is coming from an outsider who is bringing something different to the table. So I think we should avoid politicizing the employment of teachers and the transfer of teachers. And actually, the commission must remain independent. And that is something that we are not seeing of late. We have seen people even receiving employment letters in political meetings, which is something we never experienced in our time. It was depending on when you finish your bachelor's, depending on the grade that you got, which was very good for children who had nobody, who knew no one. We were just going for, we just applied. And because the interviews were very free and fair, we were able to get employment. I don't think as a country we are heading in the right direction when we allow politicians to make decisions in terms of who should be employed and when and how. I think the commission has to take hold and recover themselves and their image to the public. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Osman had a point.
Yeah, I just wanted to chip in on something that Mheshimiwa was really addressing, and it was really hitting at me that I should give a rejoinder.
Yes, please.
I'm asking myself, how does the commission, which is supposed to be concerned about the welfare of their employees, be the ones who cannot listen, one, to the voice of the employees themselves who are really suffering, and two, the unions which are representing the teachers, who the teachers have come to, and they have aired their grievances. They are crying, and we have told the Teacher Service Commission, we really need to consider the plight and the welfare of these teachers, and yet they are not listening. Thirdly, the Parliamentary Committee on Education, which is a very senior committee, also raising the same concerns, and somebody is not listening. It means that there is some level of impunity in terms of handling professional matters. Yes, we know that Teacher Service Commission is an independent commission. Independence does not mean that you cannot take the views of other interested parties and other stakeholders for the success of your independence. So it is important that when issues, pertinent issues are raised, not unless somebody is misadvising the Teacher Service Commission. When pertinent issues are raised that are of concern that would help the Teacher Service Commission to succeed in its mandate, then it is important that they consider, because now these teachers, they've been given letters of interdiction. What do you think psychologically they feel? Even their families back, their dependents and every other person. Must you risk your life for you to be heard? How many killings must we experience for Teacher Service Commission to really see that these teachers need to be heard? In fact, this matter would have been settled a long time ago. The teacher has said that he is in the house, spending time in the house, the time that the teacher would have been spending in school expediting what the teacher had been trained to do. So it is important that when issues arise, Teacher Service Commission rise to solve the issue as immediately as it comes. You saw the procedure that was given by the Teacher Service Commission to look into the discipline cases of these teachers. It will take ages before the teachers are heard and be posted back, because you are given 21 days and then there will be time for you to
forfeit to leave days.
Yes, all that process. If you go through that process, it will take minimally 6 months. What will these teachers be doing? And they are trained and they are employed. So it is important that even that period, to me, I would recommend that those interdictions should be withdrawn. The teachers should be posted as early as today so that they can go serve the nation, where there is a conducive working environment that the teachers can carry out their duty.
Okay, let's now sample the feedback from the viewers and those who woke up with us here on the broadcast. Here's what you're saying on X. Daybreak, that is the hashtag. The SMS code is 22422 at Citizen TV Kenya and at Ayub Abdikadir. Brian Chemwa says high expectations and intense academic pressure can push students to cheat in order to meet unrealistic standards. We need to foster a culture of academic integrity by educating students about the importance of honesty, ethics, and the value of learning. Evans Wanyelawan says, my question to the chair of the Education Committee, yes, he is here, Honorable Meli. Has he talked to TSA about confirmation of senior serving JSS Junior Secondary School intern teachers to PNP? What's the effect? You will respond to that, Honorable Meli. J.M. Musoma says, why do we glorify KCSE grades such that students who don't achieve the entry grade but go through a diploma program and advance to a degree or master's in education can't be employed by TSE just because they failed to get a C+ in KCSE? They will cheat. Yes, you will respond to that response. Next is Peter Gesura 89 says, we welcome the stringent measures NEC has put in place to ensure that the sanity in examination sector is realized. Babu Michelle K says, exam cheating is a big network and I call it an enterprise. Imagine during our time, a school was contributing 1,000 from every candidate in a population of 250 candidates. That's 250,000. If not an illegal enterprise, then what can you call it? Okelo Mwalimu says, exam irregularities stem from the nature of our society, where almost everyone has to cut corners in order to succeed. In some cases, candidates have believed that it's their right to cheat. This trend must be reversed. All the best to all KCSE and KCPE candidates. Jimros 001 says, the question is, where does this exam come from? It's not from the container where the center managers get the papers every morning. We need to ask Matiangi what he did in 2016. Okay. Yes, Honorable Meli, you had a point?
Yeah, especially on the, I want to sum up this issue of teachers and say that I want the Teacher Service Commission to look at the teachers individually, case by case, school by school. And the issues that they brought before the committee, listen to them. And as Husband has put it, it will be wrong, it will be actually illegal to have these teachers out for 6 months. And when a teacher is under interdiction, he's on half pay, I think, is it? And who will compensate him? And two, if the due process is done and the teacher is actually exonerated, who will pay for the lost time? Is it the commission or who will pay for that? Because somebody has to be surcharged because you illegally dismissed or stopped the teacher from working. Two, the issue of JSS. Let me just say that I want to ask to tell the teachers who are in JSS who are on interns. The government has a very clear plan that after a certain duration, most of them will actually be on PNP, that is on pension, permanent and pensionable. Yes, so I don't want them to have a worry on that. Yeah. And I also want to wish the candidates, especially the KCPE, the KCSE, and the KPSEA students across the Republic, success in the exams. And I want to ask them that they need to maintain integrity in exams. They need not to cheat to succeed in life. As many Kenyans believe that you need to cut corners and so that you achieve. Yeah. You can still achieve and do well by just following the law and actually being upright.
Thank you. Yes, Osborne, there was also a question here.
Yeah, thank you. As I add to Mheshimiwa Meli, on the issue of PNP for the JSS and any other person who was employed as interns. First of all, intern is nowhere in the Code of Regulation for teachers. It is either you're employed on contract or you are employed on PNP. But we allowed the space for interns, and they are now there. Our greatest urge has been that if any person is employed as an intern after 1 year, Honorable Meli, this person should be confirmed without even being subjected to
further interviews.
Let this person be confirmed. There is the issue of C+ as a mean grade for joining teacher training college at a diploma level. And the same C+ is the minimum grade that one goes to the university. So it beats logic if somebody has a room to go and do degree on a C+ grade, for that person to be told to go and do diploma so that you can be graded well. And two, some teachers start from very humble positions. Somebody might not have qualified to join a university, but qualified maybe with a C to do a diploma. And after doing the diploma, that person decided now to use this diploma certificate to pursue a degree, and maybe with a C. This person, having pursued a degree, maybe comes out with a first-class honor or a second-class honor. This person now qualifies to be posted in the level of the degree because he took a longer route to qualify.
Thank you.
It is now very wrong for us to say that this person, because at the initial stage he did not get the C+, which was minimum, that this person's degree cannot be considered.
Thank you.
Very many people in this country started from humble backgrounds. Others started from, like when we were training teachers long before, P2s.
Okay.
Some people started from P2s until they became professors.
Thank you.
So Teacher Service Commission does not lock out people simply because they have not met the minimum threshold of C+.
Thank you.
For them, their degrees to be considered.
Thanks, Osborne. Yes, Dr. Purity, your last comments.
I think for me, Ayub, is to invite people to think more about values and the core competencies when you talk about critical thinking, problem solving, and what have you. I think as a country, we need to get to the level where our children understand these competencies, but also ourselves, we are living the values because we are the blackboard. Another thing we need to do is to give, to allow evidence and data to speak to us. When you look at the data that has always been said many years, even within government, they have done their own assessment called a similar, where only 44% of our learners are reading at the right age. And no actions, for me, I feel like is being taken. People are more focused on access and also reacting to the end goal. You realize that your children were not well prepared, and so you're stealing or cheating in the exam so that you produce better grade. But all along, the evidence has been saying that only 4 out of 10 children in this country are prepared to be at where they are, whether they're in class 8 or where they're in grade 6. What about the 6%, the 6 out of 10? I think for us, we need as a country to think more about quality of education, but also the point I raised about having different voices, different recommendations at the same time. I think we need to harmonize so that people are not left confused the same way now we are left confused after the parliament decided to say that we are holding, we are shelving the recommendations because they didn't go through the right processes. We are left not knowing where to go. Are we taking the recommendations? Are we not taking them? I think we need, as a country, to be very sober in terms of the things that we do, especially in the education sector. There are so many things that are left for people to fill in. And when we start filling in, of course, we don't do the right thing because we are human beings. So I encourage people to think more deeply about values and the core competencies. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Thank you, Dr. P.S. 30 seconds, please.
Yes. Just a second, Ayub. The issue of exam preparedness. Actually, as a committee, we met the ministry the other day. Okay. And one of the things that we put it very clear, and I want to thank the government because they gave the money for the purchase of a number of vehicles so that actually most of the activities that are going on will actually be seamless. And the ministry assured the committee that the purchase is almost ready, and several counties, sub-counties that they had no vehicles will actually be receiving them in the course of this particular week. So when that particular issue arises, when you talk about the exam cheating and malpractices, it occurs especially in areas where they rely on one vehicle to do a to and fro for several centers. But when you have several vehicles, and the movement of the exams will be actually seamless, and there will be actually no problem of some unroadworthy vehicles getting stuck, getting broken on the road, and all that. Those are actually part of the recommendation that we made. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Honorable Julius Meli is the chair of the Departmental Committee on Education.
The teachers also be paid well. The teachers who are manning the national examination.
And on time.
Yes, they should be paid well.
Thank you.
Paid on time.
Thank you, Hesbon.
For per day for a long time.
Which will actually breed.
Thank you. Honorable Julius Meli is the chair of the Departmental Committee on Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Meli, and also the MP Tinderet constituency. Hesbon Otieno is the Deputy Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Teachers, and also we are joined virtually by Dr. Purity Ngina, who is a researcher with Ziza Freak. Good morning, Purity, Dr. Purity. Good morning to you, Honorable Meli. Good morning, Hesbon. And good morning to you too. Thanks for waking up with us here on the broadcast. We'll see you on Thursday morning here on Daybreak. Till then, good morning. Bye-bye.